Hello everybody and welcome back to RachandBella Crafts. I hope you're all well and I hope you've all had a fantastic week working along with our collaborators in our tips, tricks and hacks collaboration. I actually had to catch up on a lot of the videos myself this morning because it's just been a crazy week. But I had a lovely morning this morning, watched through them all again, and wow, wasn't it just a whole consortium, is the word I want to say, of fantastic ideas. So on Monday you had Tina from ShabbyDabbyDooDah, and what a treat she had for us. She showed us all her behind the scenes from her mass makes and all of the stash that she has now built up because of the mass make system that she uses, and she really inspired me because she said a lot of things in her video about how when she first started out she would make things for a project and then you're getting everything out and then you're putting everything away and you're just making one and it takes up so much time, whereas if you've got everything out, make 10, make 5, but don't just do one, and then that way you're building up a stock. And also I think we made a touch on it last week. We were saying about if you're going to make more than one, do it in different styles. Don't necessarily have to do 10 in the same pattern or in the same paper, because then depending on what you're doing, you'll have something there for every project. So next month I am going to be having a month with Tina. I think I'm going to go through some of her brilliant videos that she's got there with her mass makes, and I'm going to try and build my stash up and organize it better. Shonna did a fantastic video as well with the decoupage. She again brought some amazing tips for us. It was actually quite exciting to watch, and I thankfully have found some that I've done already, so I can work with that today. I don't have to wait for anything to dry, which is great. But I just love watching Shonna with her mixed media. She it's just amazing. And then on Wednesday you had Leilani, and she did the tea bags. I have to be honest, something I've never done. I know Mum has shown me a few things when I first started journaling, and some tips on what she does with her dried tea bags, and I just forget. In our house we drink green tea, and with the green tea we tend to leave the bag in because it does take a while to stew in your cup. So I just very often get used to just leaving it in there, and then, I toss it on the garden normally, and just forget all about it. So I'm going to have to make a batch of tea later for somebody. Perhaps I'll do some tea dye and some paper, and then I can dry the tea bags out from that. That would be a good idea, wouldn't it? 2 in 1. And then I'll have some tea bags because I really want to have a go what she was doing, because when she was, again, decoupage it over the index card, and just that effect, that instant vintage look, it was brilliant. And I thought, what a quick way to get those kind of results. So again, if you haven't seen what these girls have been doing this week, get over and have a little look. There's a playlist, I'll link the playlist below. Go and follow along with the playlist, because they're all there and it's been brilliant. And then we had Rose then from Journals and Time. She did covering the book, a book cover with fabric, and she brought us lots of tips, made me think. I mean, I've done a lot of fabric covers, but I've never tried and the word's gone out of my head now. Oh, wouldn't be usual for me if I didn't lose the word. The stuff that goes on the back. I can't think what it's called now, but it was brilliant. And also the tip, because one thing I'm guilty of forgetting to do is when I put my glue on before I lay my fabric, I don't rub it flat. And if you're using certain fabric, she's quite right, you can then end up sometimes with a mark. I tend to layer over the top then to cover that up, but if I had just smeared my glue, wouldn't have the mark. So some brilliant tips there for you from Rose. And then yesterday we had the gorgeous Martina, and she really made us think about what we do with our packaging. So you'll see on my desk here, I've got some of the packaging that I have kept from my week. A little cereal bag there, and I've also got some plastic here from something else that I've opened up. So I'm going to have a little go today at recreating some of the things that they've done, just working with what's on my desk, and having a little play about really. So if you want to stay with me and see what I come up with, I'd be really pleased to have you. But if you haven't yet watched the videos that the girls have done, please make sure you go back and watch what they did, because they were some amazing tips and tricks. I'm so excited about next week coming up now. It's just like, oh my goodness, just so much going on. It's fabulous. And it was lovely this morning to get up and, well, I didn't get up. I actually watched them in bed. So I was awake early, and I picked my iPad up and just caught up on what I'd missed this week, because it's been so busy. So what else do I have to tell you? Okay, well, drum roll please. We've had some birthdays. We've had quite a lot of birthdays this week. It's been a week of birthdays. Perhaps my birthday radar is on because mine is coming up, but we have had quite a few birthdays and we've had some birthdays in the collaboration. So,
Pembloyd Happy City, Pembloyd Happy City, Pembloyd Happy, Pembloyd Happy, Pembloyd Happy City.
I hope you enjoyed that. So that was for you girls. I did put your names on the screen. Couldn't fit you all in and definitely couldn't do it all in Welsh, but I just thought it'd be a little Welsh hello from our little corner of Wales. So that was my son there backing me up there because I said I need a deeper voice. And bless him, he came down and just wanted to say happy birthday to you all. So I hope you've all had a really good week and I hope you all enjoyed your special days. So this morning I nipped out. I've actually been out and about quite a bit this week and been doing a few different things. I've had a busy week and whilst I've been out and about I have also picked up a few bargains which I'm going to share with you now because I know you love to see what we've been finding and what we've been picking up. So, excuse me. First of all, bargain of the week, this has got to be, look at all this delicious eyelash and trim. 50p I paid for this and the whole card is just full. All different colours and these are just lovely for spring. These will all go now with my Rosy Blooms kits as I'm working with that. And again, some lovely stuff for my next boho style journal. But yeah, 50p in the local second-hand shop. So I was really chuffed with that. That was my first find. Then we've got a shop that I discovered this week is actually closing down. That's why I discovered it. So I was quite sad. Neon Sheep. But I went in to, well, I actually went in to look at the building, but that's another story. And they had a half price sale on, and then the half price sale was also buy one, get one free. And I found these amazing paper clips. How cool are they? And they've got numbers on the top, look. So I thought, oh, they're going to come in handy. Because I love to find, you know, little cool, groovy paper clips, wear them when I can. Don't see them very often, but couldn't leave those there. So I'm going to have a little play about with those. And this, steal of the week, I didn't steal it, sorry, that's, you know, bad bad expression there. £1, again, in the charity shop, and it's a country diary of an Edwardian lady, but it's actually a little cross-stitch card. So I'm going to challenge myself to sit and do that over the next couple of weeks. Goodness knows how long it's going to take me, because it's been a while since I've cross-stitched, but I'm going to give it a go. But I actually picked it up because I just love the packaging. That's very silly, I know. But I'm definitely going to get that done. So watch this space. We'll see how long it takes me to come back with that. So they were my 3 steals from, oh, I'm missing with steals, but you know what I mean, from the charity shop. So the things that I collected then this week whilst I was out and about, and I'm going to try and utilise today. So this was from a coffee shop. It's just the menu. It had a bit of coffee spilt on it. My colleagues both looked at me with their eyes wide open when I folded it in half and put it in my bag. I said, is anybody going to use this? They were like, oh, no, there's been coffee spilt on it. I went, perfect. I'm going to take that with me. So that's going to feature in a journal at some point this week. As I say, I've got my cereal bag from eating my cereal in work. I've actually collected a load of these this week. They're in my other work bag, but I will be utilising those. Try not to do too much with these on camera because they're a bit noisy, so I am sorry for that. I've also kept this little plastic packaging from something that I recently opened, and also I had this in the post from my favourite shop with a coupon in. I won't be decoupaging on the coupon because I might want to use that, but I thought this would actually be really good to collage on and make one of those windowed pockets that Martina showed us yesterday, because I just love watching her work and she is so calming and relaxing. It was a really lovely start to my morning this morning, so I felt fully inspired, and I thought this is a little bit bright to go into, especially with the astronaut cat. It's a little bit bright to go into a journal, but it would be perfect for me to utilise with some of the plastic, and I'm going to have a go at that this morning. So they're my little bits of scraps, and then I had a few deals. So I wanted to show you my deals. I finally have found some magnetic tape, which I've been desperate to get hold of because I wanted to do some little magnetic, you know, things. And I wasn't quite sure where to get the discs from, but I've come across this tape. So I don't know if it'll work, but I'm going to give it a go. And I did read that you can just cut it. So I'm going to try and use my, you know, hole punch thing to make some little circles, and then we'll have a go. We'll see if it works anyway, but I'm determined to try that this week. What else did I get? Okay, there was a sale on in our local Hobbycraft. I have nipped in there this morning. I went to visit Mum the other day and she was using this beautiful stamp. I spotted it down there this morning on sale, but also these. I want to try and do a little bit of watercolouring. So I'm going to task myself this week with using a stamp and trying to colour that in. So I've got plans for all of these. Oh, that's upside down. And I picked that one up because it's a beautiful heart. And of course it's a Valentine's weekend. So I leave that one out because we will be working with that later. Mum very kindly picked this up for me because she knows I love elephants. I do collect elephants. I haven't got a huge collection, but I am working on it. I think I probably mentioned before, my grandmother was born in India. I don't know if that's where my fascination with elephants comes from, but I do love them in all different shapes, sizes, particularly the wooden carved ones. But she found this lovely fabric block for me, so I'm going to have a little go at stamping on some fabric this week with some paint. So I've got lots of plans for this week, but also they had this kind of, I don't know, it's quite exciting. I thought as a background, this was on sale in Hobbycraft. These are fat quarters. There's 5 in there. I thought it was a really good price. And I thought, you know, for covering journals, they're just great backing fabrics, aren't they? I also thought they'd look really nice to make some ruffles out of. So I have that to work on now this week. So they are my my little pickups. Oh, last but not least, this was also on sale. Mum had had some delivered whilst I was there the other day, and I was like, oh, I love that colour. So this is weathered wood. So I'm going to show you to do a few things with that this morning. But that was also on sale on Amazon. So if you are about and you're on Amazon, check that out, weathered wood. It's quite chalky, but I will show you in a moment. So the first thing that I'm going to show you what I've picked up from doing this week. Oh, there's one of my fabric flips. Pop that up there. The first thing I'm going to try is something Mum showed me. So what she did, she had a sheet of Vellum. Beautiful stamp. In fact, she was using this stamp. So we'll try this. And she used some of this. And I'm just going to stamp a few because I would like to do this, use these in my project today. So let's get that nice and inked up. Hopefully it'll work well now because I'm doing it on camera. You never know how these things are going to go. And I've just popped this old green mat underneath just to kind of help me keep straight so I know that I'm making the most rather of the vellum. Ooh, you probably can't see that on there now. Let me take it off and pop it on there. Can you see that? How cool is that? I hope I'm close enough. Can you see that? Look how shimmery it is. Isn't that lovely? Right, so I'm going to just do a couple of those on there. And I will speed you guys up so you're not sat there wondering and waiting. So there we are, look at those, aren't they beautiful? So that's the effect you get with the weathered wood. It's kind of a chalky bluey grey colour. Beautiful if you were doing like a beach kind of journal. Ooh, see my hand going, so I mentioned the word beach, love the beach. But no, I do particularly like that kind of weathered wood look on, you know, like beach huts and stuff like that. But yeah. This is gorgeous. So we'll leave those to dry for now. We will come back to those later on. So I'm thinking because it is Valentine's weekend, we would do something along that kind of a theme. Now, I do have to admit, I did actually go into Hobbycraft this morning to buy some of these, the replacement sponges for my dauber, because this thing keeps falling to bits when I'm doing my daubing, and I needed some more. So I thought, oh, I'm just nip into Hobbycraft. Went into Hobbycraft. Turns out they didn't actually have any in stock. Thankfully, I had one left in my my little case. They didn't have any in stock there, but I did come up with some other stuff. So that's my little confession for my little shopping trip this morning. But for Christmas, my wonderful other half very kindly picked up on a hint that I dropped quite loudly. I think I actually just sent in screenshots. And he bought me these beautiful flowers at Christmas time. Mum's going to say, oh, she didn't show me those. Mum, I don't think Mum and Dad have been to our house since Christmas because we had, like, somebody in the family had COVID and my parents had visited, so they were being really careful after Christmas, and obviously I've been working, but I had all these beautiful flowers, so I'm going to use some of these today because I thought the reds might work quite nicely with the, you know, the Valentine's theme, and I thought we might give that a try. So I'm going to leave that one out, pop these back, and I'm going to take my packaging and we're going to make a start. So I've also got some papers here that I have previously run through my embossing machine, and I need to have another day doing that because that's always a really good thing to do for mass making. If you want to do some embossing and you got, you know, your embossing machine out, I've actually got a bigger one now. I bought it on Marketplace on Facebook. It was an absolutely amazing deal. Lady selling it off secondhand. I think I do need to replace perhaps one of the I don't know what those things are called, the glass. Well, they're not glass, they're the plastic things, you know, that go through. But other than that, it's brilliant. So for the time being, I just stick an extra bit of card and it works. But that's a great thing to sit and do mass making because you can just sit there quietly while you're, I don't know, doing something else, watching TV, who knows? Maybe not quite that because it's a bit noisy. But I'm going to use one of those today because it's kind of, you know, kind of Valentine-y coloured. And I have also got my packet of scraps to the side. Let me just empty this tray out because I want to work on the tray this morning because I do get a bit tired. Sorry about the arms. Oh, just move all out of the way. There we go. Right, I do get a bit tired of making a mess and then it all just being stuck on my desk. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. I have some beautiful decoupage done ready on a book page. I did these, I think I actually did these last week because I wanted to dry it in front of the fire, and boy, has it dried beautifully. So we're going to use a little bit of that today as well. Only a little bit, but just on the actual collage. And I've also then got some book pages that I printed on with our lovely Rosy Bloom kit, which I think fits the theme quite nicely. So I'm going to try and utilise these bits down here that I've got lacing and XYZ. And then we'll see where we go from there. So let me pop that by there just for a second because that's for the messy bit. But for the time being, I think, now, do I want to just do one side? I think I will, because I can have two then, can't I? And that makes sense. So, I hope you have all had a really good week. Like I say, it's been really busy because we're still hunting for this building for our shop. Who knew it would be so hard? It's been, you know, there's not a lot about at the moment. There's not a lot of, as they call it, real estate available. Excuse me while I have a sip of my squash. And I don't know why. I don't know whether there's things coming on the market and then going straight off as fast as they come on. I don't really know. But you would have thought in a difficult economic climate that people would be selling their buildings, but they're not. So we actually live in a town. We have a town centre in our little town, which is where my place of work is currently based, and it's very quiet there. It's very quiet. The town has been kind of on the decline for quite a number of years, quite sadly, and we were going to look at putting a shop there, but we all kind of feel that the footfall there would be very, very quiet, so maybe not advised to, you know, we're thinking perhaps maybe there'd be better places. So yeah, so we've been looking a little bit further afield. We actually have got a town just over the mountain from us, so it's about a 20-minute drive, and it's lovely. It's a market town and it's very, very busy. So I did pop over there twice this week to go and look at some buildings, and was pleasantly surprised. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see where it takes us. We'll see what comes of it. But I'm trying not to get too excited. But oh my goodness, it is very exciting. I'm not doing very well at not being excited, if that makes sense. Oh, do you know what? Isn't it great when you have a basket full of your scraps and you suddenly go back to it when you haven't looked at it for ages and you think, oh, forgot I had that, and I forgot I had that. Amazing. Right, I'm looking for something pinky already because it's Valentine's, isn't it? So we want to kind of stick with a theme. But yeah, oh, that's quite nice. Perhaps we'll pop that on there. Yeah, I like that. So perhaps we'll pop that there, and then we'll have that there, and then I'll have another piece up in the centre there. So yeah, that's kind of been what I've been doing most of the week. We have also organised our craft fair, which is something else that we're doing for work to you know, because obviously most of what my job entails is fundraising and organising events for fundraising. So we've planned a craft fair, and it's going to be an Easter. You know, we're calling it a spring fling because I like a play on words, and it just sounded exciting. A spring fling. Although my fundraising officer, she's lush, Bethany, she did laugh and said, as we were putting it up on social media, oh, I do hope people don't think this is a dating event. And I was like, oh my gosh, I said that, I didn't even cross my mind. Spring fling. And we said no. So I said, well, if anybody comes along for that, they'd be pleasantly surprised at all the wonderful crafts on the store. So I put a post on Facebook asking if anybody wanted to join the event, and we've been actually had quite a lot of response already, which has been great. So yeah, it's been very exciting this week, very exciting indeed. So I've got a new, I think I'm going to use a bit of the Who, and I want something now to lean on to glue because I do have a habit of making a mess. This will do quite nicely. So let's see where we go with this now. What else have I been up to? My goodness, do you know, I don't know, it's just, the week's just gone. We've had, we're also looking for somebody to be an ambassador for the charity. So we kind of trying to make contact with some big names. We have got a gentleman coming in to meet us on Wednesday. He is actually a racing car driver. Oh, see my hands go then? Racing car driver. Nobody'd ever let me do that, I know for sure. And he is for the you know, disability section of the I don't know if he races in the Olympics, I'm not quite sure. Perhaps I'm making this up now, but I don't think I am. So he's coming in Wednesday to meet us all, and he wants to be involved and to help promote the charity, which is amazing. So yeah, lots of exciting things happening. It's all like 100 miles an hour. Everything we're doing is just 100 miles an hour. Ah, I like the pun. Look, see, racing car driver. But yeah, he hasn't even joined yet, and everything is literally 100 miles an hour. So we're kind of coming out with ideas, and then everything is just falling into place, which is brilliant. So we've had a couple of meetings this week talking about lots of exciting plans for our service users, you know, the individuals that come in and receive support for sight loss, because of course that's what it's all about. It's all about our service users. And yeah, we just got lots of exciting plans. So I'm really excited. My team are really excited, and I've got an amazing team. I line manage 4 other individuals, and they are they have a variety of jobs. So the one lady, she does awareness, and she does like awareness training for businesses, and oh, isn't it hard when you're working with a scrapper stamp period and you can't decide which side to use? Look at that beautiful rosette side, but no, I think I'll go with that one. Sorry, just random there. I have obviously then my fundraising and communications officer, so she does all our social media stuff, and helps, well, organises all the events and things. And then I have 2 other gentlemen then who work with all of the tech and the IT side of things. So it's really busy. We're a really busy team, and it's great because every day is different. And I like that. I really like that in the workplace. I like to go in not knowing what to expect. It's fab. Plus the time just flies, and everybody there is so friendly and just so helpful. I can't believe I've only been there, my goodness, is it 6 weeks now? Let me see, 5 or 6 weeks I think. And it's just flown. It feels like I've been there forever, because they're just all such a lovely team of people. And it's funny because we kind of got a bit of a a 60-40 work thing at the minute, where you kind of work in the office for 60% of the time, and then you can work from home for 40% of the time. And you know, with my other job, I would have loved that, because I just hated being on site, because it was just so negative there all the time. But this job, I find I go in on the days I'm not down to be in, you know, so that must say something, I think. But yeah, really just like being there and working with the people I'm working with. So that's all good, isn't it? I think if you like the people you work with and you enjoy your job, it's half the battle then, isn't it, when it comes to getting up and going to work? I think so. I can just pop that by there. Okay, now I'm not going to make the mistake I was about to make, because Martina gave us a really good tip, and she said about cutting through the centre, which I have to say fascinated me when she did it with that cutter. I was like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even have thought of doing it like that. Because yeah, I could do that with my big one. I'm just looking at it now. But that was just amazing. And then, oh, do you know, I think I'm going to put a bit of scrap of fabric on it. But she cuts the square out, and then you've got a ready-made journal card. I was like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't even have thought of that. Me now, I would have just left the middle thinking, well, I'm not going to be using that, so I won't bother. But, oh, we've got this. That's what I'm looking for. Let's put some of this on here. Which bit? Should we have that beautiful rose there? Right, so let's kind of, I don't want to be really messy, because I want to try to utilise it as best I can. So in fact, if I take that bit down, so yeah, and then as I was saying, and the other two guys on the team, then they handle all of the kind of IT and tech side of things. So they go out and visit with our service users and show them how to adapt things like their iPads and their mobile phones, so that they can still use them, obviously depending on their condition and their level of vision loss. So they can either show them how to have things so that they're much bigger, you know, on the screen, or how to utilise like Siri, which is probably very underutilised by the majority of us. I've got to be honest, my Siri frightens me and never listens to me. I think perhaps I need to spend a morning with one of my team and get them to help me set it up properly, because that would be really useful for me too. But amazing the stuff that they come up with, and just really innovative. And it's just great to see how technology that we have today, it can just be so useful, you know, and be such a help for everybody. So yeah, it's really inspiring. I learn something new every day. And at the moment, one of my colleagues has organised, or is in the process of trying to organise, VI tennis. So that's tennis for visually impaired people. And it's just going to be amazing. I can't wait to get it off the ground. So he's setting up a meeting with some people that, you know, do it throughout the country. It's a bit of a national thing, and we're going to go down to the local club that do it. I didn't even know there was a tennis club down the road from us, so again, local knowledge, learning stuff all the time. But there is a local tennis club at the local golf range, and they are going to host something, I think. So we just kind of get that up and running. And then last week, I went to visit another establishment. It's very similar to ours, but in a local town. And they were telling us that they do VI darts. Now, darts is huge at the moment. Over here, well, I don't know, maybe it always was, I just perhaps hadn't noticed, but everybody in my house seems to be watching it, so I'm well aware of what's going on at the minute. But yeah, so we may even try our hand at a bit of VI darts. You know, I did kind of like open my eyes really wide. I was like, really? How would that work? But it's absolutely, it's amazing. What they do is they get, you know, with a dartboard, they put a pin with a bit of string into the is it the bullseye, the bit in the middle? Clearly I don't play. And they then hand that to the person who's VI, and they say, right, there you go, here's your string. So they stand back where they need to be with the dart and the bit of string, and using the string then, it helps them to, you know, kind of find a centre point and gives them an idea of their position. And they throw the dart, basically. I think there's like a bit of a different kind of scoring system, obviously. And they utilise like the outer bit like, so imagine like with tiddlywinks, that kind of thing, you know, they would utilise then the outer space. But yeah, it's absolutely amazing. So we think we might try that. And it was great to hear the one guy say, you know, they organised theirs in the local town that we visited, actually in a local pub, actually let them go in and use their board in there. And the chap said, you know, how lovely to hear the service users say, you know, it was great to go out and be just like everybody else and go to the pub and have a game of darts. And, you know, it's just that feeling of being inclusive, isn't it? I actually did my awareness and inclusivity training this week, which one of the ladies in my team, she runs that. So I said, oh, I'm going to come along and do the training, get my certificate. But it was really good to sit and hear, you know, what she is teaching local businesses and companies about how to be mindful of, you know, the way that we behave towards individuals who have disabilities or impairments, and just, you know, not to patronise, not to over enable, because obviously, you know, you have to be mindful of them, and that some do require some assistance and want some assistance, but just to also remember that you mustn't exclude them because they're just as capable as everybody else. I include myself in that comment, we are just as capable as everybody else, you know. Yeah, it's never a nice feeling, is it, if you've got any kind of disability or condition, and to feel that you just are placed on the side. And it, you know, it never needs to be like that and shouldn't be like that. So yeah, right, I'm happy with that now. Blah blah blah. Let's now try and do what Martina did, and I'm going to try and cut in the center of this. So I'm going to just mark out, ooh, I'll have to use a black pen to do this, I think, so I won't be able to see otherwise. I'm just going to mark out a square. Actually, that's square enough. So I'm not going to look. I'm just going to draw around there so I can see what I'm cutting. Hopefully this will look as good as hers did, because hers was amazing. Right, I can just about see that. So let's see if it works. Now, I haven't got a dainty little paper cutter. I've got this humongous, huge thing. Oh, and it's not going to work with this, I can see now, because I can't lift my wheel. Okay, so plan B. I'm going to have to use my craft knife and my little craft thing here. But that's okay. So Martina was very clever, and she did it with a little, you know, so if you've got the small ones that you lift the cutter and thing. I did have one, but the blade went on it, and I think I gave the bottom bit away then. What am I looking for? Craft knife. I'm looking. I knew you were in there. Where are you? Ah, my little toe rag children keep messing with it. Ah, and putting it back in upside down. They've opened something with that, haven't they, now? Because it's all, dear me. I need to get a lock on my stuff, I think. I love them to bits, but they do annoy me when they fiddle with my craft stuff and don't put things away. I mean, it's not like they're 4 years of age, do you know what I mean? They're all big enough to know better. And I know if I go in their rooms and I move anything, oh my goodness, don't we know it? Right, so that's that one. And then here. Okay. There we go. Okay. Amazing. Right. And that's quite a cute little, we can put something on that then in a moment. So I'm going to pop that to one side a second. And I'm just going to cut around the edge of here with my jumping scissors. By the way, I did contact Fiskars. I've got to send them off and I've got to do something, and it's going to take a little while, I think. So I think I'm going to just hang on, because if I send these off, I won't have anything to use. So, but thank you for the tip about having them exchanged. Yeah, we forget when we buy things and they've got lifetime guarantees. I need to make myself a little folder to keep all information on, I think, when I buy stuff, and it does have lifetime guarantees, because we're all kind of grateful, not grateful, that's the wrong word, we're all guilty of that, I think, sometimes when we buy stuff and forget that, you know, we're becoming very much a throwaway, well, generation, aren't they? The next one definitely is, but that's another thing that I'm loving about my job. One of the girls that I line manage, I work in the office with her now, she has a YouTube, no, not you, well, she does have a YouTube channel, but she has an Instagram page, and her page is all about sustainable clothing. So she teaches people, and she's only young, she's only 23, and bless her, she, her kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Well, her UPS, should we say, is to encourage youngsters. Gosh, I sound ancient using that word, and I youngsters. My granny used to say that. But to encourage young people to not have this throwaway attitude with clothes, because, you know, it's this kind of, they buy something and then they need something new to go out in. And she shows you how to wear the same piece of clothing 3 different ways. It's brilliant. It's absolutely fascinating. If you're on my Instagram, you'll have seen I've shared her stories a couple of times. But go and check her out. I will pop her Instagram page below. And it'd be amazing if you wouldn't mind going and following her page and leaving her some likes, because she's really doing something great there. And it's good when you get the younger generation, they're coming and they're trying to encourage each other to be more sustainable. So that's kind of like that's our brief at the minute in work as well. Everything we're trying to do it in a sustainable way. Hence why we want to open a charity shop. Right, the next step, I believe, is, but you know, I really want to try is using this ink. I wonder if this is going to work. Should we give it a go? I don't know. This is the strangest pad. Mum opened hers and she was like, ooh, it's all dried up. It hasn't, obviously, but at first glance, it does look a bit like it's all dried up. But I don't know. Must just be the way it is. So let's just try this. Ooh, I'm liking that. Yes, I'm liking that very much. Okay, so it's kind of a grey, chalky kind of, yep, very nice. Because I haven't, you'll notice I didn't ink my edges of the papers I put down. I did it purposely, but I didn't want them to be brown and vintagey, because I wanted to use this. So I will just go around the edge with this now. We're going to go for quite the smoky look, I think. Something a little bit different. I'm looking behind me now to see what colour thread I've got in my machine. So I'm going to have to nip off and just rethread my sewing machine in a second, because Martina did stitch around hers and I want to do that on mine. There we go. Oh my goodness, excuse me, I missed a bit rumbling. Right, now I'm just going to very quickly do this tab before I move on and forget, because again, good tip from Martina, do it while it's in your hand. Right, so I've got some very lightly coloured coffee dye paper here, and I'm just gonna, I think I might use this glue actually. Okay, so I'm just gonna quickly back this. Pin in. Oh, right. I do love about that glitter glue is it does dry very quickly. Very quickly indeed. In fact, if you don't move fast enough, I stood there yakking as I very often am, it will dry and you'll have noticed. Right. So yeah, I've got a little journal card there now. Put the lid on my and I'm just going to use some of that ink then around the edge of there. Just to clean off my... There we go. I'm going to put it around there. And I'm going to just do one of these lovely stamps on the back of here. Because it is beautiful. Right, perhaps at a bit of an angle. No, let's do it like that. There we are. I've just overlapped that bit, and I might do one on the front as well, actually. It's the old-fashioned way of drying things. Probably had heat in Boston dryers. Blow on it. There we go. Right. So we can stitch around that in a moment, and stitch around this. But I am going to also just put a little bit of gold around this as well, just to make that stand out. And because we can, and because it's amazing, we love the stuff. I've actually got a nasty cut on that finger, so I don't really want to use that one. I might use this one. Oh, isn't it awful to have a choice of fingers to use for your gold? Whoever thought you'd be picking about that? Ooh, very nice. I do like this stuff. It makes things pop, doesn't it? Especially if you kind of don't want to be too tidy about it, you know. Smear it around a bit, because then it just, yeah, very nice. I did actually have, I don't know if I mentioned, I had this jar again from my wonderful other half for Christmas. And I haven't even touched the inside of the bottle. That stuff will last like forever, I'm certain of it, because I haven't even touched the inside of the jar yet. I'm just taking it off the lid, and it's enough, you know. You really don't need a lot of this stuff. So a jar of that should last you a long, long time. It's a real investment. There we go. And then as it starts to get a bit smattery around the edge there, that's lovely. Very nice. I might just go around the top here. As it's on my finger, why not? Just kind of bring that red out there. It's a nice framer, isn't it? See now why they used to use it for picture frames. Gilt edging, because it really, imagine when you've got gilt edged picture frames on your wall and the light bounces off them, but it really popped, you know, especially years ago when you think, you know, the rooms were very dark, weren't they, and you only had candlelight, but imagine that then really making everything pop. Wunderbar, love it. Okay, so I'm going to go and stitch around that in a second. Oh no, I've got to put the plastic on first, haven't I? Yes, that's the next bit. Okay, so what have I got here to use? Well, I've got this bag, and I think that's actually going to be big enough. So I'm just going to cut that. Down there like that. Down there like that. And then that. And I'm just going to take that lip off because that's been a bit, say that before cutting anything off it. Let me just check it's going to be big enough. Yeah. Actually no, I won't. I'll just have to flatten it down because I'm afraid if I cut that off it's going to not then fit. Do you know what I mean? Right, so let's try this. I've got some of this transfer tape. I don't know if it's any good, but we'll give it a go. And we'll see if this works. to stick this plastic down. I hope I didn't just miss all of that completely. Oh, I was just thinking this morning, I can't wait now for the car boot sale season to pick back up. Get back out looking for some bargains. Oh, it was lovely last year when they started back up again, but they always seem to be on a Sunday morning, and Sunday morning's not a great time for me because I'd rather go to church. And missed a lot then. Oh, I didn't put that on straight, so I hope that. Good heavens, this stuff is sticky. Now I see why everybody uses it. Wow. You only get one chance for that, don't you? And then it's down. There we go. Right. Ooh, look at that. That's pretty. I like that. Well, I've got a little air hole with it, but that's okay. We'll cover that over with something. Right. Okay. So that's stuck in place. That's well and truly stuck in place. I'm going to give that a second now while I rethread my sewing machine. And then I will just stitch around the edging of that now to kind of give it a little bit of pretty design. Oh, completely missed that then. That's, my tape is going off to the edge for some unknown reason. There we go. Right, that's better. And that bit there. Yep. Super duper. And then that bit there, because we don't want anything. What you don't want is things catching when you've got a pocket, because otherwise stuff's not really good in there, is it? Okay, I shall be back in 2. Okay, so I have managed to find some lovely yellow thread, which actually came out looking quite like gold. So I had a little play about with my sewing machine, and I've done a bit of a squiggly, what's the word I'm looking for? Stitch around the window, which made it now look like a bit of a picture frame. And then I've done some little hearts down here, and just a little bit of a squiggle bit there, and then I did a straight edge around here, just so it wasn't too much. But I'm really quite happy with that, because that feels quite vintage Valentine, I think. So I'm just going to pop that aside 1 second now. So I've just trimmed the bottom of the other half of the card. I'm going to leave the white on the back, and then I think we're going to just cover this then, and we'll have a nice journal card to go into our pocket. So I'm just going to have another little look through my scrap box here and see what else I have from the week. What else did I not use? Oh, perhaps we'll start out with this one this time, because again it's good to have the printed wood in, because you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone really then, aren't you, with your collage, because you've got the book page and you've got I think I might put that one there. You've got the book page and you've got you know, design. That's what I'm trying to say. Sorry, mind went blank then. Again, not like me, I know. Trying to do too many things in one go, and my brain is not. No, my brain's going too fast and my hands are not working quick enough. Because as I'm doing one thing, I'm thinking about the next, which is not good. So I'm just slow down a little bit, am I? Right. Just make sure that's straight on the edge of there. Get that down a second. And then what else do we have in here? Oh, now some of this might be nice, because I've been working with my design team project for Pink Monarch prints this week. So I've got some of this left over, and this is from the freebie kit that she actually put out for you all. So again, if you haven't gone and got that yet from her video, don't forget, go and download that gorgeous freebie kit she did for us, because I had great fun playing with that. And I used it in my my journal this week, because there was loads of ephemera in there. So thank you again for that, Anna. That was a real treat. Let me just slide that across there on that glue. Oop. See what I mean? If you don't slide it quick enough with this glue, that's it, you're in place. No, that's it, it's not gonna move. Right, okay. I don't want to mess that up. So we we went to the cinema last night. We like to have film night, a date night now and again. There was a time we used to go every week, but obviously COVID kind of put a stop to all that. Plus, now, since COVID, there's a distinct lack of films. So, you know, that's a whole different conversation. But I really had wanted to go and watch the new Poirot film. I love Poirot. I don't know if any of you know Agatha Christie, Poirot, the great detective. Oh, he's so funny. But I really wanted to go and watch that last night, so we did. I don't really know what to say about the film. It was all right. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was okay. The actress who plays Wonder Woman was in it. She was great. I like her very much. She's great in everything, isn't she? And of course, Kenneth Branagh. He's amazing. I love Kenneth Branagh. He's not my Poirot, obviously, because David Suchet was my Poirot growing up. I read the books, Agatha Christie, read them all as a kid. ABC Letters, I think, was the first one I read. I remember reading that and being completely hooked. You know, I kind of like outgrown Nancy Drew mysteries by then and was ready for something a bit meatier. But yeah, great stories. But yeah, no, Kenneth Branagh was good. He's a little bit too active for me. Poirot's a bit more, he's a bit older and a bit more, there's a scene he runs in it and you're like, don't think I could imagine him running like that. He tended to trot with a funny little walk, didn't he? But yeah, all the same, very good. I enjoyed it very much. And we laughed. I don't know if I mentioned, we went last week to watch a film, Moonfall, and that was quite funny. I don't think it was meant to be funny. It was ironic, should we say, but there were bits I laughed, and obviously it wasn't meant to be funny. The world was coming to an end. And I don't laugh at things like that, but they were just funny bits in it. And my other half told me off last week. He was like, are you going a bit deaf, Lem? I was like, well, my ears are playing up this week. Yeah, why? And I went, oh, was I loud? He was like, yeah, just a bit. I was like, oh, okay. I was doing a nana, you know, kind of sat in the cinema and forgetting you're not in your front room kind of thing. But last night was really funny because, I don't know, perhaps it was the film we were watching and, you know, it was only a 12 advisory, so a bit of a family film, but the cinema was actually full of people of a certain age, and I was actually really quiet compared to many people in there last night, which was very funny. But no, really enjoyed the film. It was a good one. So I wouldn't put it on my highly recommend, but I wouldn't not recommend it, if that makes sense. So if you do get a chance to check it out, do so. And of course we go after work. We haven't any tea, so we tend to nip into the local supermarket and get like they do like meal deals, they call them. So you have like a sandwich and a packet of crisps and a drink. So we got one of those and sat nibbling our sandwiches in our seats. But it was quite funny actually, because I bumped into my niece then in the supermarket, who I haven't seen for ages and ages and ages. In fact, I can't remember the last time I saw my niece because of lockdown, one after the other. In fact, that hadn't dawned on me whilst I was talking to her. It's funny, isn't it? You go so long, you don't see people, but you just pick right up where you last saw them, kind of thing. Well, both of my nieces were there. They were, because she walked behind me, she tapped me on the shoulder. Hello, she went. And I'm a bit slow. When people got masks on, it takes me a little while to kind of, and I was looking at the eyes thinking, I don't recognise that voice. Who's talking to me? And when I looked, then I could see, oh my gosh, it's my nieces. So I was like, they were the last people I was expecting to see in the supermarket. And I don't know why, because she lives down there, but yeah, it was lovely to see her. So she was asking all about how my job was going and everything, because she's still working from home with her job. She works for a National Health Service, but like the kind of business side of things. She's very clever. And my other niece, she's in Bible college and she's doing really well. So I think the last time I'd seen my younger niece was when I took her for a driving test. No, I didn't. I'm telling fibs. I saw her recently at my dad's for his birthday. But yeah, it's nice to catch up with family, isn't it? We've not had the amount of opportunities we normally would have over the last couple of years. There we go. Okay. I'm liking that. I'm going to go and put a little bit of stitch around that. I was going to leave that white, but I don't like it, so I'm going to just cover that really quickly. What have I got here at the side of me that I could just put over the back of this? I really, really want to use up this scrap basket because I've got some amazing stuff in here. Ooh, I wonder if that'll fit. Yes, there we go. That's one of our ephemera kits that I've misprinted, but that's fine. This is our French invoices one, I think. See all these amazing things in my scrap basket that I never seem to have time to dip in and have a look at. But I've got to be honest, I was looking earlier for elastic because I was trying to finish that journal. I just wanted to bind it with elastic, and I've turned my room upside down. Well, it's already upside down, but it's even more upside down now, and I can't find my elastic anyway. So once this video is done, I am going to be turning my room out this afternoon. It's actually rugby on today. I'm glad I didn't mention it last week because I would have been a little bit embarrassed, especially with Rose being on what day did we have Rose this week? I'm quickly looking. Thursday. It's national rugby. It's Six Nations Championship. So obviously if you're in the UK, you know full well what that is. If you're in Europe, you'll know full well what that is. If you're in America, you probably don't. But yeah, this is like our main event over here this time of year. I was actually born on the day that, on a day, not the day, on a day that Wales were playing Ireland. The day I was born, my dad always reminds me. And we actually won that day, and I'm glad I didn't say anything then because we lost last weekend. Oh my goodness. So quite abysmally. So we've got Scotland today. So that's my afternoon activities. I'm looking at the time now. I think I need to get this finished and then clean up and then get the eggs poaching, a toast on before the old man gets in from work. Love him because he's working all weekend in the hospital. They're trying to get, he's a painter in, he works for the NHS. He's a painter and decorator. He paints all the hospitals, and they're going in on weekends at the minute to try and get some of the doctors' rooms done. Well, obviously they're not in them. So he's been going in at 5:30 all week to get in to do the physio areas again before the patients come in. Because I often say to him, how are you meant to do it when there's people in and out all the time? But this is how they do it. They go in very early and then and they're home then. But yeah, so he's working all weekend, but he'll be home just in time for kick-off. So it's a bit of a mad dash last week. He ran in through the door, ran upstairs to get his dirty clothes off, and then I had the telly on warming up, as we used to say, and had his eggs poached ready. So we'll sit down there and hopefully today we won't have a loss, and that will make our weekend. Thankfully they're not playing next weekend because it's my birthday next weekend, and there's nothing worse than having the rugby on and it's spoiling your birthday. No, we don't take it quite that seriously, but it is nice when you have a win. It's always a jolly feeling, isn't it? In fact, we enjoyed the Scotland-England game more than our game last weekend because that was a riveting game. Scotland beat England in the final minutes, if not the final minute. It was nail-biting stuff. It's quite nice sometimes when you're watching another side that's not your own and it's a really good game. But so yes, Rose, you had one over on us last weekend. Because good old Ireland, they hammered the Welsh. I think Ireland are looking strong this year for the championship, so good luck to them. It's always a friendly competition, but very competitive at the same time. We do take our rugby very seriously over here. Okay, so we've done our journaling card, we've done our pocket. I'm just going to go and stitch around that now, because that's all ready then to go in there, and then we'll just do a little bit of a tab on there, and then I'm going to use some of my beautiful flowers, and I just want to stamp a bit on there, and then I'm going to use one of these And I'm going to pop it on like a little faux stamp because they've dried beautifully. Now look at those. Right, so I should back with you one moment. Okay, so I have stitched down here. I've added a nice little tab with some beautiful lace. I'm two-toning my threads again as well. So I've got gold on this side and pink on that side because I think that's quite romantic. Let's have a look. Let's see which one's going to work the best, shall we? Because there's only one way to find out, and that's to audition, as we say. Right, now I don't want anything too bulky. I'm wondering whether I might put one of those on there. But obviously I want to slide that in and out, so perhaps not. I don't know. I don't want that being knocked off. I think I'd be better off with it on the pocket, wouldn't I? And we'll keep the journal card free of anything bulky. But do we go with this one here? Or do we be really brave? Let me just lift that back up a minute and go with this large one here. Because that's rather lovely, isn't it? I know it's going to be a bit bulky, but, well, you know. Which side? So thinking now that goes in there like that. We need to put something on there as well, don't we? Because I am thinking, ooh, where'd the little one go then? Oh, what did I just do with the little one, guys? See, this is what happens when you've got sleeves on the table. Is it on my dress? No. Can you see it? Where did I just flick that then? Oh, look. If I had a brain, it'd be dangerous. I could stick that on there, actually, couldn't I? Thinking if we put that in there like that, that would be quite cute on the actual window. Or that one. Or there, I think, maybe, because then it feels like the flowers here really kind of, yes, I like that there. I do like that one. I'm thinking, I don't often go for big and bold, but I'm thinking on this occasion, yep, make a decision, I'm doing it. Okay, right, let's stop, you know, not making decisions. What's the word? Procrastinating. Terrible for it. Just go for it. I might have wished I'd done this with my glue gun, but I didn't have a spare socket by the side of me, so we'll just have to hope that this works. And yes, I like that flower very much. It's feeling very Valentine-ish, isn't it? I think so. Let's get plenty of glue on the back of there. Let's see if that'll do the trick. If not, I will get the glue gun out. But hopefully... Crikey, it sticks my fingers to everything, so I'm sure it'll stick that flower down. Oh, I do like that. That glue there obviously needs to dry. But it will dry clear. There we go. I think they're very pretty, aren't they? Ooh, nice to have something pretty to play with. And now I feel like I want to put something on here. So there we go. Lovely. Yep, I like that very much. The only thing is that needs something on. Okay. What can I put behind there? I need a flower. Bear with, I shall be right back. Okay, so I just grabbed this fussy cut flower. And I'm going to just go around the edges of this a second. And then we're going to pop that in on to the journal card. And I think that will finish it off quite nicely. Quite nicely, shall I say. Let's just tone this white down a bit as well, because it's very, very white. So just grabbing my thing. Okay, right, so I'm just going to double check now on my positioning, because obviously if this is glued in place, make sure you check this when you're doing your journal cards and stuff, because this is only going to go in so far when it's actually on the page, isn't it? So unfortunately, where I've placed that butterfly, I think I'm going to have to pop the flower over the top, but that's all right. So that's what it's all about, isn't it? Learning, growing, literally, with the flowers. But I think in order for that to be right in the middle, it needs to go there, and I think that will be beautiful. Okay. And then we just have to have the wings of the butterfly poking out from behind, and I'm okay with that. My goodness, if the best artists in the world of history drew over their own canvases, we can certainly stick something over the top of one of ours, can't we? Right, now I hope that was where Let me just double check before I pop it right down. Yeah. Yeah, there we go. That is beautiful. I'm really pleased with that. Really pleased indeed. So there we are. So thank you to Martina because she has inspired me with my project today. I've really enjoyed having a go. We've got ourselves a lovely, oh, hang on a minute guys. So there we go. A huge thank you to Martina for her ideas with her collaboration video yesterday. She completely inspired me today to have a go and reuse my packaging. And I've come up with this lovely pocket that she inspired, and then a journaling card, and it's got a lovely Valentine theme. Oh, I know what I was going to just finish off with. Of course, where's my black ink? You're almost done with me then, guys. Almost. Wouldn't be Valentine's if we didn't do a little made with love stamp on it, would it? I was just going to pop that onto the back of here. Here we are. Right, so where was I? There we go. Right, so we've got our little journaling card, which has come from the centre of there. We have got our pocket with our window, and we've got ourselves a nice large journaling card. And that's all ready now to be stuck into my next journal. So thank you so much for joining me today, guys. Don't forget we have 40% off all of the digital kits in our shop. They are 40% off for the rest of the month to celebrate my birthday for you. And to thank you, of course, for all your amazing support with the collaboration. If you haven't yet watched all of the videos that have already gone on, go and have a little look at the playlist. The link is below, and make sure you check them out. Don't forget as well, the giveaway, lots and lots of prizes have been given by the collaborators. So make sure you go and check out how to enter that. You need to watch all of the videos that are in the playlist, like, subscribe and comment. And that will get you entered into those draws because there's going to be quite a lot of prizes. So make sure you're in it, because if you're not in it, you can't win it. Have a great weekend, and we will be back with you very soon. Take care, everybody, and have a great Valentine's. Bye.